a painful pill for the team of Kozar and Biner. 1988, it's Buffalo and Cincinnati. The Bills, 12-4 on the year, had enough Jim Kelly offense mixed with plenty of defense inspired by Bruce Smith and Cornelius Bennett. It was a boomer year in Cincinnati. The Bengals were the best offense in the NFL. Esiason's passes and the running and dancing of number 30, rookie Ickey Woods, inspired an unbeaten winning rhythm at home and a 12-4 year. Cincinnati and Buffalo. Today, one will earn a rare chance to play for the Super Bowl trophy. The National Broadcasting Company presents the National Football League. Today from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio, it's the AFC Championship. The Buffalo Bills against the Cincinnati Bengals. Today's game is brought to you by New Michelob Dry. One taste and you'll drink it dry. By Chrysler Motors, we just want to be the best. And by Delta Airlines, we love to fly, and it shows. The Queen City along the Ohio River. Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium, just under 60,000 fans. On a cool day, temperatures around freezing at kickoff, but the stakes are hot. A Super Bowl chance 2 weeks from today to the winner in Miami. And no matter how you spell it, even if it's Jungle, home is sweet for those teams in the playoffs. In fact, home teams won all the games last week, and that advantage, and a considerable one it is, goes to the Bengals of Cincinnati. And we are delighted to be here. The two teams with the best records in the AFC, best offense against the best defense. It can't get much better than that.
Take a lot of times you get great players on the field, but you got to go look for them. Find one over here, one over here. Not so today. They're going to be nose to nose. When Cincinnati's offense is on the field against Buffalo's defense, we've got 10 Pro Bowlers out of the starting 22. Now that is quality versus quality.
And it's not just a lot of stars. We're going to actually see them matched up close. Well, they'll know what kind of toothpaste they used this morning.
Or if a guy forgot to brush his teeth, for sure. But we've got Anthony Munoz, I think the best offensive lineman ever to play the game, matched up against Bruce Smith. If Bruce keeps going the way he is, he may be the best defensive end ever to play the game.
Well, we hear the roar in the background. Cincinnati will get the ball first. That means that Tim Crumry is going to have to wait.
Crumry will wait along with the defense. Tim Crumry, the best defensive nose tackle in the NFL, matched up against the Pro Bowl center, Kent Hull. Now, you haven't heard as much about Kent Hull, but Kent Hull right now, the best pass-protecting center active in the NFL. We're going to have some fun watching those fellows work today.
Well, we haven't talked much about special teams or field position. The key game, obviously, that's all important. And then there's another piece of the pie we've ignored.
And that's not fair. We really have not talked a lot about Buffalo's offense, and they have some quality there, and the matchup against Cincinnati's defense. Dick, my personal opinion, that matchup may determine the outcome of this game.
Buffalo's offense against Cincinnati's defense, and Cincinnati Bengals head coach Sam White's just 44 a couple days ago, furious at the news this morning. He didn't find out officially until a few hours before kickoff that the NFL had imposed a new interpretation, something he'd been doing all year long, the quick huddle, the no huddle. They said that if you're doing it to catch the other team with too many men on the field, we're going to call it unsportsmanlike conduct.
Marv Levy, whose protestations in Sam White's opinion brought this to a head, and there is going to be a rift between these two coaches, I'm sure, after this game is over. Levy and his first opportunity to take a team into the playoffs. They won their first game. They now have their eyes set on a Super Bowl and an opportunity to make that next step forward.
The first time ever that two teams with losing records the year before have met in this championship game. Ira Hillary and Stanford Jennings are deep, and to kick it off is Pro Bowler Scott Norwood. And this opening kickoff of the AFC Championship game is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Jennings and Hillary away. The Bengals would like it that way. They want their offense on the field first, and so do the Buffalo Bills appreciate that because they want their best side, the defense, on the field for the opening series. Little bit of wind, so Norwood gets some help. 60 minutes from a Super Bowl. It's Jennings near the sidelines at the 5. And he returns to the 24-yard line where Dwight Drain, number 45, makes the tackle. Boomer Esiason. Now, normally it would be a no huddle. They'd be right up on the line of scrimmage, and they would go, but they're going to use the sideline huddle. James Brooks, Ickey Woods, a brilliant rookie, Tim McGee and Eddie Brown are the wide receivers, and Rodney Holman, a Pro Bowler, tight end. Munoz, Reimers, Kozerski, Montoya, and Blados, the offensive line. Into the center of that Buffalo defense.
Sam White said he's not going to change anything. He is going to come right back. He's going to use his attack offense. He said if they throw their flags, they're going to have to throw them. They're going to have to tell us it's illegal to play this attack offense.
A gain of short 3 at 2nd and 7. Esiason again calling out his signals at the line of scrimmage. We'll give you some insight into that as the game progresses. To the sidelines, incomplete. The ball flying high over Tim McGee, the wide receiver. The Buffalo defense reads this way. Bruce Smith, brilliant defensive end. Smirlis, the veteran nose tackle. Art Still, another veteran, as they go again to the quick huddle. Cincinnati. Talley, Conlon, Bentley, and Cornelius Bennett, 55. Watch that number. He's brilliant. Derek Burrows, Nate Odoms at the corners. Leonard Smith and Mark Kelso at safety. So,
that's a late substitution. White's waited until Buffalo's defense had set on the field. He puts in extra wide receivers and goes to a 4-wide set. That's his retaliation at this point.
3rd and 7. Esiason hit from behind, fumbles, and they say in the grass the ball had been whistled dead. Bruce Smith, 78, made the play for Buffalo.
Anthony Munoz has had 2 sacks all year long. He works the open side against the best rushers on opposing team. And here in this first series, Bruce Smith able to go around to the outside, and you'll see him coming top of your screen right there, breaking back inside of Munoz, and it's Smith's 2nd and 3rd moves that make him so dangerous as a defensive end.
And Cornelius Bennett was right there as well. Errol Tucker, number 22 at the other end, as Lee Johnson hits an end-over-end short kick. And it's down by Cincinnati at the 46-yard line. So Buffalo, good news for the Bills. They stop Cincinnati on the first series, and they take over in excellent field position. Jim Kelly, the quarterback. Thurman Thomas, nearly 1,000 yards. Jamie Mueller, a blocker. Trumaine Johnson. Andre Reed set a new Buffalo record with 71 catches. Pete Metzelaars, former Seahawk, is a tight end. Wolford, Richer, Hall, Hellestrae, and Devlin are the blockers up front. Here at Riverfront, they call it the jungle, going to make it tough on Kelly and the offense. Thomas stacked up. Jason Buck 99 and Tim Crumry 69 were there first. And Crumry is really the heart of that defense. Jim Scow and Jason Buck flank Crumry. Leon White, Carl Zander, Joe Kelly, and the veteran Reggie Williams are the backers. Lewis Phillips, Eric Thomas, those 2 corners, they may be most improved defensively there in 1988. Fulcher, a tough safety, on his way to the Pro Bowl, and Solomon Wilcox is the free safety. Kelly in trouble, And he just does get it away, incomplete to Rob Riddick. Riddick taunting, or being taunted by Lewis Billups. And Eric Thomas. Thomas, 22, is the man jawing. After the incomplete pass, it's 3rd down and 8. Burkett and Trumaine Johnson to the left. Andre Reed, the leading receiver, and Harmon to the right. Over the middle, intercepted by Billups. And Billups runs out of bounds backwards at the 37-yard line. That was strange. He could have taken another 7 yards.
Obviously, this Cincinnati team emotionally peaked and hyped here at the start of this game, but you're exactly right, Dick. This ball batted in the air. The last thing you want to do is knock a ball into the air. That's Harmon, and that ball just floats gently into Billups' hands. But watch the end of the play. A chance to get uphill. Not good tackling. You don't expect that from the receivers, but what's he doing going out there? You got a chance to pick up 5-6 more yards.
Esiason with lots of running room. 50, 40, 33-yard line for Boomer Esiason.
Esiason at 6'5", 225 pounds, surprisingly fast and unafraid to run that football. Upfield, gets a good block right there to spring it downfield for even a little more yardage.
He has led the Bengals in rushing average, but with 3 men all over 5, that is quite remarkable.
That's scary if you happen to play on the defensive side of the line.
He has a 29-yard average today. That's what he got on his first scramble. Ickey Woods to the 33, into the grasp of Ray Bentley, number 50, and Shane Conlon. There's the cornerback Billups, who picked off that deflected pass. Here's that huddle, sugar huddle they call Cincinnati, about 2 yards from the line of scrimmage.
They're in a position where if they see, and this is what's gotten them in trouble, they see reserves or substitutes coming on the field, they jump to the line and snap the ball. That was the part that they were accused of stretching the rules.
Second and 9. Oh, is Woods hit? Art Still, the veteran who played 10 years with the Kansas City Chiefs, Still met him head on.
Still basically cut loose by the Chiefs. They said, we don't want you anymore. Well, Walt Quarry, who'd come over to coach the Bills defense, said, this man can play football. He still can play the run very, very well. And he frees up Cornelius Bennett to roam behind that line. So it's a very valuable addition that he makes to this Bills defense.
Now the Bengals, who rushed for well over 200 yards last week against Seattle, are having trouble early against Buffalo. The Bills offside. Boomer with a free play, and he was hit again by Bruce Smith. That's the second time Smith's gotten to Esiason, but I believe that'll go against Buffalo.
Boomer using his voice to draw the Buffalo defense offside. Fred Smerlas.
Defense, number 76, offside. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Fred Smerlas, a little bit pumped up in there. Pro Bowler, what a great year he has had. A lot of people said Smerlas is over the hill. He can't do it anymore. Well, he's got the enthusiasm of a young buck in there and playing some fine football inside.
He is the dean of that young defense for Buffalo. 3rd down and 4. Woods to the 23. It'll be close to a first down. I believe he has it. It is first down, Cincinnati.
One of the players that we're going to be watching very closely in the first quarter of this game, Shane Conlon, an arch injury that has kept him from being able to work out. There's Conlon. He has a steel plate in the bottom of his shoe and a special plastic orthotic to keep that foot from flexing. But he is going to have some trouble today using the strength and pushing off of that foot. We'll be keeping an eye on him.
Fake to Woods. A throw wide open is Riggs. The tight end, Jim Riggs, is out of bounds about the 6-yard line. A flag is down. And it's against the Bengals, denying an 18-yard play.
Rodney Holman, Riggs, the two tight ends, the two tight end situation.
Illegal use of the hands, 82 offense. 10-yard penalty will replay the first down.
Rodney Holman, they asked him to do a lot. The Bengals offensive line really bolstered by his talent as a blocker.
He is not only an excellent blocker, but he is one of those people that is also a good good pass receiver, and he can get downfield. He's one of those tight ends that can get all the way downfield, especially against the zone defense. A good pass receiving tight end, invaluable in that situation.
Sam White used him often. He caught 39 passes, did Holman. So the penalty marked off from the spot of the foul, which was downfield. So it's first down and about 7. James Brooks slipped away from Darryl Talley and finally brought down by Ray Bentley at about the 16-yard line.
Back on the line of scrimmage, there was some confusion just before that play, but the man you want to get, boy, I'll tell you, Marv Levy really upset about something on the sideline. He's an angry man. Excellent play by Bentley, flying to the outside.
Gain of the play of just a couple. It's 2nd and 5. Levy, 60-year-old head coach of Buffalo in his 3rd year. Almost. It is intercepted by Buffalo inside the 5. Ray Bentley on the deflection. So the Bills stop the Bengals on the interception.
Now that's not a fair matchup. Kelso against Munoz. There's a little bit of weight being given away in that situation. A lot of emotional eye-to-eye and helmet-to-helmet contact. I don't think I can remember a game that starts out a championship game where we just had as many quick confrontations between the two teams in the first quarter.
Our first time out, 8:51 remaining in a scoreless first quarter.
That got Cincinnati the ball on this series, and it's a tipped pass that sends the ball back into Buffalo hands. Nate Odoms, 37, a chance to intercept, but watch Bentley, a diving grab. Best known for his play against the run, he makes a big play on the passing game.
Jamie Mueller, the big fullback, gets a yard maybe. David Fulcher and company. You see Bentley 50 curling back as the play develops, and he's just the right man and the right time. Played for Herb Deromedy at Central Michigan. Bentley, his 2nd interception of the year.
The last time Buffalo came here to play, they lost the turnover battle 4-0. 2 turnovers on the run game, 2 turnovers on the passing game, and they didn't get a single takeaway.
Mueller again. Jim Scow 70, Joe Kelly 58, and always at the bottom. Watch who gets up last. 69, Tim Crumrod.
Oh, hello. that's
Ray Bentley.
Ray Bentley, and of course he's got some darkening under his eyes to take the glare out of his eyes, but he may have had a few tears dropping down through there.
That's emotional.
That's stage makeup.
Reed and Trumaine Johnson, the two top receivers, are to the left. Kelly in the shotgun gives to Rob Riddick, and Riddick is hit at the 11, short of a first down. Lewis Billups, 24, made the hit.
And it is loud in the jungle. The natives are restless, and they're making their presence felt. Number 24, Lewis Billups, right there, getting the bump on Flip Johnson, and he's in perfect position to be there to take a piece of that tackle.
Credit Leo Barker with a key hit as well. John Kidd is the Buffalo punter, averaged 39.5 on the year. That's Hillary at the other end. Beautiful spiral from the former Northwestern punter. Hillary from the 40, 45, and finally hit down at the 48. Steve Tasker, a Pro Bowler last year, who was the roommate of the kicker John Kidd at Northwestern, made the tackle. 6:33 left in the opening period.
Even when all of Company B heads for the phone, it's no problem for Gail Godfrey.
Delta Airlines, Gail Godfrey.
Y'all fly to Lubbock, Texas?
Yes, that is confirmed.
I got some friends who want to talk to you now. Just hold on a second. Thank you. Cincinnati, Ohio. New York City. Monroe, Louisiana.
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
San Jose, California. Portland, Oregon. Butte, Montana.
You're all set. Thank you for calling, Delta.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Gail. Did you get many calls this afternoon?
One.
Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
I hear General Motors is not happy. More and more, their owners find only one luxury car gives them everything. Chrysler New Yorker. V6, anti-lock brakes, the most advanced transmission, Ultra Drive, and Crystal Key. Better owner care than any GM sedan, even Rolls or Mercedes. What did Chrysler do to make GM unhappy? Everything.
Now get $750 cash back on New Yorker Landau.
Whether you work up a man-sized thirst or a man-sized thirst, nothing tackles it like Diet Coke. The real cola taste you can drink more of because it's just 1 calorie.
I'll flip you for it. Heads again.
Just for the taste of it, Diet Coke.
It's a tough code for Boomer Esiason because the defense can hear what he says.
Well, you see what I'm doing right here, right now, is I'm just telling the entire team where to line up and what play we're running. And all I'm saying right now is like split painter Denver tells everybody where to line up. Then I give them a play. Pound 3, Dover, exit, zebra. Give me a route. And then I tell them the snap count, and then I tell them to move it. And that's it.
Now that's when they use no huddle. That's the kind of call that the defense will hear. You try to figure it out.
Pound 3, Dover, zebra. That's a whole different language that they develop so they can talk, and the defense can't understand it.
First down from the 48. Esiason hit by Smith again. Bruce Smith, and a flag goes down. He might have gotten some of the helmet or face mask. Smith in 3 years, 33 sacks.
Personal foul, a 15-yard face mask penalty. It's an automatic first down.
We better take a look at how Bruce Smith is getting around Anthony Munoz. We said that Munoz has had 2 sacks over his position all year long, and yet here in the ball game already he has been on top of Esiason 3 different times. There he is, top of your screen, 78, instantly inside. Boy, I tell you, he is so quick you cannot believe it.
285 pounds.
He's not
he didn't agree.
He was was not on Munoz. He was in on Reimers and Kazurski on that play. Let's see if he has the face mask. He doesn't have the face mask. He's got the shirt. Looks like he jerked the shirt down and Boomer's head came down with it.
Mickey Woods tries to cut back and right into the arms of Cornelius Bennett. Their #1 pick from Alabama by the Colts, and of course involved in that intricate trade, three-team swap rather, Buffalo, Indianapolis, and the Rams, where the Rams got all those #1 draft picks. Colts got Dickerson, and Buffalo welcomed Cornelius Bennett. Levy felt that it was the shirt, not the face mask, that Smith grabbed on Esiason. Good block by Woods. Throw to Holman, and Rodney Holman is inside the 40, short of the first down by about 3 or 4.
Having been penalized for this very same thing, I tell you, I came back once from a Chicago confrontation with a quarterback with a piece of his shirt in my hand and showed it to the official. There's the shirt. He's got it all the way. That's just a poor call from the official all the way on the sideline.
Some of the hazards of being so talented. Bruce Smith is so quick. It's almost a deftness of hand, a magician. You don't see what they
they'll
actually
move him
did.
around, Dick. He's in on the nose, just off the center's nose, in on Reimers at this moment.
3rd down and 4. Blitz. Incomplete. Eddie Brown broken up by 29, Derek Burrows. Good coverage by Burrows from Memphis State.
One of the things that they will do with Bruce Smith all during this day is to move him from position to position. Here he is right now, located on Reimers. He'll also play here. He'll even move all the way out on the other end and trade places with Cornelius Bennett. And of course, they're going to double team him all afternoon.
On to punt is Lee Johnson. To return, Errol Tucker at the 10. Beautiful high kick. And down inside the 10-yard line. Stanford Jennings. Oh, the Buffalo Bills have it for the 3rd time again inside their 10. They'll begin.
If you've dreamed of the perfect road, we've got the perfect way.
To go, Bruce Smith appealing to whomever might listen about the play where he felt he did not have the face mask, and our pictures support his argument. What a player, an impact player, and he certainly made his presence felt in this opening quarter. Now from the 9-yard line, Buffalo, no score, 4:28 left. Intercepted, Eric Thomas with blockers. Eric Thomas to the 4-yard line. And a flag is down where Crumry hit Kelly.
Dick, the problem that Kelly had all year long was to make mistakes in critical situations where he tried to throw the ball through the defense.
Unnecessary roughness after the interception.
A misread on that play.
1st down.
Did you hear Gene Barth talking about a personal foul? We'll march it back, but boy, 2 big turnovers, and Kelly's frustration. He's becoming now a defensive back. Scow there, Crumry there. This is the one that cost him the penalty. You don't have to do that. I mean, just pop him once. You don't have to dive on top of him.
Well, Kelly kind of brought him down.
Well,
he encouraged the move a bit, but nevertheless, it is a personal foul. And with the interception, Cincinnati will start inside the 20.
Kelly trying to read the play, and he just misreads the break by Tremaine Johnson. Now, one of them is dead wrong, either the quarterback or the receiver.
So a big break for Esiason and the Bengals. Flags are down. Esiason dumps it off to Riggs, the tight end, the backup tight end. And now let's check on the yellow markers.
Dick, we haven't seen the expected confrontation of the rules here. The reason for that and the attack offense being legitimately used is that Levy has opted not to substitute defensively. He's basically gone with the 11 that are on the field.
Illegal motion, 82 offense. 5-yard penalty. Will replay the first down.
Rodney Holman getting his second flag of this opening quarter. Ball placed at the 24-yard line, 1st and 15. No score, opening quarter.
Dick LeBeau talking to the defenders on the Cincinnati sideline.
Ickey Woods. Leonard Smith, the strong safety, came up to meet him behind the line of scrimmage. Smith, acquired from the Phoenix Cardinals this year for Roland Mitchell in the number 6 draft choice. And the Bengals, looking at the film, said that was the steal of the year.
There's Walt Corey, the man responsible for constructing and putting together this Buffalo defense, and a fine defense it is. When you got people like Cornelius Bennett and Bruce Smith and Smirlis, and there is Smith.
And he is not feigning an injury. You can be certain of that. Oh, my. How critical that picture may become. Timeout.
McDonald's is bringing Calls Twist of Fate, an intriguing presentation with an excellent cast. A well-made, silver-plated production with a sparkling cast, says People magazine. Ben Cross, Veronica Hamill, Bruce Greenwood, John Glover, Ian Richardson, Sarah Jessica Parker. Twist of Fate tonight.
We're back live at Riverfront Stadium, and you can see the painful presence of Bruce Smith holding his upper leg, limping off the field. And here's what happened.
Here's Bruce Smith, the middle of your screen. Now, as he starts forward and plants his foot, stop it right there. It looks to me like that foot just sticks in the turf. This is a very sticky turf, and he came up being very ginger with that leg.
Leon Seals, 96, replaces Smith. The throw to Holman is complete at the 5-yard line. Mark Kelso made the tackle. 1st and goal, Cincinnati.
I talked to Max Montoya before the game, and he said that they've had a number of injuries without being hit, knee injuries on this turf. As you watch Rodney Holman downfield, this is a very sticky turf, and it doesn't release the cleats. When your cleats are locked into it, you can injure yourself just by twisting.
1st and goal from the 5-yard line, Cincinnati. Final 3 minutes of the first quarter. This is the deepest penetration. That's Eddie Brown to the left, Tim McGee to the right. And the give is to Ickey Woods. At the goal line, is he in? No, they mark it at the 1-foot line. White sends in the signals. He calls the plays. Esiason reads and then transmits the message.
Right at the end of this play, Art Still, number 72, steals the football, but not until Ickey Woods is on the ground. Look at him there, stripping that football away from Ickey Woods. And Dick, just as an afterthought to that talk about a sticky turf, this turf is only a year old.
Stanley Wilson and Ickey Woods on 2nd and goal. Woods. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Penalty if you celebrate with a dance in the end zone. So the Ickey shuffle on the sidelines. It's infectious. 6-0 Cincinnati. The interception by Eric Thomas. The pass is Esiason to his tight end Holman, and then a couple of shots by the big fullback Ickey Woods. We understand now the word we're getting from the sidelines is that Bruce Smith will return. It's a bruised thigh. It's not a knee or an ankle, a bruise, and they expect Smith to come back.
That is definitely good news for everyone concerned. Leonard Smith upset about something on the field. And there is big Bruce Smith with his neck rolled down around his neck.
Jim Breach for the extra point. He's been very ill with the flu all week. Has not practiced. And a good job by Turk Schoner to get that snap down cleanly.
This is the same play that they have been running all year long. A slant play off tackle in behind number 74 Brian Blados and Rodney Holman. Watch the play on the inside. Number 50 Bentley coming outside to try and get a piece of that. He gets Ickey Woods, but not until Ickey has gotten his touchdown. Look at the way that offensive line, that big powerful line, just pushes Buffalo's defense on into the end zone.
Isn't it one of their thoughts to run at Cornelius Bennett? Bennett's such a good mobile man. I mean, he can get you from the backside. He runs the field so well, so the best attack is to go right at Bennett.
Their feeling was that they could attack him on that side, and the other thing is they try and nail him down there. In other words, he's most dangerous, Dick, in pursuit, so you just get him nailed down on that side.
A reprise of the shuffle.
Now, Bob Costas talked about style points. He's not only getting style points for that one, he's getting a lot of help from his teammates.
Elbert Ickey Woods, who was the nation's leading rusher last year at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. It is not true, he says, that he learned that famed shuffle at some of the shows there along the strip in Vegas.
Dick, right now, very important that the Buffalo Bills get started offensively. In that first game earlier in the year, they got behind 21-0. They made a run in the second half, got to 28-21 within a touchdown, but they don't want to fall that far behind here today.
Now the penalty on the touchdown was against Cincinnati, and a big one, 15 yards. So the Bengals are going to kick off from the 20-yard line. The Bills starting from their 20 twice inside the 10 on an average, but they'll get pretty good field position this time.
That's almost exactly the opposite of the situation last week against Houston. They benefited from great field position. It was Houston starting at about the 20-yard line.
Harmon and Riddick on the wings, and Errol Tucker is the deep man down the middle. Lee Johnson from his 20-yard line.
Kick.
Harmon at the 22, and the former Iowa star is all the way to the 43. Dropped by Ricky Dixon and Barney Bussey.
I was talking a little earlier about Kelly's problem with throwing the interception, trying to throw through the defense. The big improvement in Boomer Esiason's game this year has come because he has cut down on those kind of mistakes. He's been more patient. He's been more willing to work within the framework of the offense.
Trailing 7-0, Kelly sets his line at the Buffalo 43. Thurman Thomas. A couple yards. Oh, no one knew how good Thomas was last year to keep a guy named Barry Sanders on the bench at Oklahoma State. Sanders then winning the Heisman this year. But there were those who recognized Thomas's talent. He did finish 7th in the Heisman Trophy race a year ago as Tim Brown of Notre Dame won it. So he wasn't exactly a secret. He finished 2nd in the Big 8 history to Mike Rozier in rushing. To Andre Reed, wrapped up immediately by Joe Kelly, right at the yardsticks. Reed's first catch. He had 71 during the regular season. Kelly a year ago, 19-11, a +8 touchdowns over interceptions, but a -2 this year.
If I could interject something in his behalf, though, he really played with a very predictable offense during this season. He was asked to throw in must-throw situations. That's something, by the way, that they changed last week against Houston. We haven't seen as much first down passing and the willingness to throw the ball on rundowns as much here today.
That pass to Reed, the first down for Buffalo. Kelly, with a noise deafening, throws to Reed again. First down at the 27. Eric Thomas made the hit. And those final seconds tick away in the first quarter, with Buffalo deep in Cincinnati's end of the field. And the score, Cincinnati 7, Buffalo nothing.
Army challenges you to identify the best in the game in this session of Chalk Talk.
Experience is a vital commodity to have.
Be sparkling in a couple of weeks in Miami, the Super Bowl. The winner of this, of course, against the 49ers or the Bears. How would you have felt as a player in the locker room before the biggest game of the year thus far, and then to hear the news that your team wasn't going to be able to do what they'd done all season long?
I'd have been furious. And I really think that one of the things that Cincinnati has used here is to rally to adversity. I think they're angry at what the NFL did. They have definitely been the more emotional team here so far in this ballgame, and I think they've used that energy on the field to get themselves a lead here in this first quarter.
But you spend that energy early, and now we're into the second quarter, and it's Buffalo with its best drive, a first down at the Cincinnati 27. 7-0 Bengals. Mueller hit in the backfield. Crumry set it up. He got there first. Then Jason Buck, 99, with help, makes the tackle for a big loss back at the 32.
Just before that play, you saw Kelly holding up his fist, anticipating the noise in this play. They have anticipated that with a silent huddle offense so they can go with signals and then go to the silent snap. There is Crumry, middle of your screen, number 69. He was the man that got in on the play. There he is.
Actually, they did a pretty good job on Crumry, but it was Buck with some help. Second down, 15. And down to the 9-yard line goes Trumaine Johnson, where it'll be first and goal, Buffalo. A fine throw by Kelly, threading that through the Cincinnati defense.
Trumaine Johnson got into the lineup because of an injury to Chris Burkett and played so well that they have had a harder time to getting him out of there. Good break. Gets into an opening in the secondary, has driven Thomas off. Well, that is a fine pass by Kelly, and right into the seam. No way they could stop it.
Eric Thomas just did save the touchdown. First and goal, 9-yard line. Kelly to Reed. Touchdown. That was the cozy combination that thrilled the fans at Rich Stadium all season long. Jim Kelly to Andre Reed.
Well, when you're playing on the road, you know when you've done something right because the stadium goes silent. And that's exactly what Kelly does here. Silences the crowd with this strike in the corner of the end zone to Andre Reed. And you see him out of the end zone. He went out of the end zone. He didn't come back onto the field of play.
And out the extra point try by Scott Norwood. Was hit 75 points after in a row. And we have a new game with 13:21 remaining in the first half. Buffalo 7, Cincinnati 7. Andre Reed, who caught 6 touchdown passes during the regular season, has a big one today.
That's our flight.
By Honda, who invites you to test drive the Accord LX 4-door sedan at your local Honda dealership today. by Coors Light. There's no slowing down with a silver bullet. The best light beer for a good long time. And by Allstate. For home, auto, and life insurance, you're in good hands with Allstate. Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen, all our NFL Live crew at Riverfront Stadium for this AFC Championship game. And Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills have just gone 56 yards in 6 plays to tie Cincinnati at 7 early in the second quarter. Johnson. We'll check that. Norwood kicking it down to Hillary. 20. Ira Hillary to the 24-yard line, and that's all against the team best in the NFL on kickoff coverage, the Buffalo Bills. And there's good news for Buffalo fans. Bruce Smith returns to the lineup.
Now, this is a game that you play under a different set of rules in terms of injury. If you lose this ball game, there's not another one for a long, long time. So even with an injury, if you can go, you go back out on that field.
Throw to Brooks. And James Brooks, on his way to the Pro Bowl, is out to the 36-37 with a first down. Darryl Talley, the cover man for Buffalo.
When you look at this offensive team for Cincinnati, and if you're a defensive coordinator like Walt Corey, you probably stayed awake all last night. They have so many wonderful tools. They got great speed on the outside, and Eddie Brown and Tim McGee and Ira Hillary. They've got control receivers. They got that great running attack. Ickey Woods and Brooks, and that huge offensive line. And of course, then you got Boomer to run the show.
And a tight end, Holman.
And Holman. You don't want to leave him out.
On first down, Brooks met right at the line of scrimmage by Scott Radisek. And Radisek apparently in there for Shane Conlon. Conlon started the game and will be given a breather on occasion.
Sometimes you try to play when you're hurt, and you may actually hurt the team. Well, right there, no power as Smith trying to drive, and he is the one that is driven off the ball. You mentioned Radisek, and I believe that Conlon, trying to play on his injury, may have decided that he has to come out of there.
Well, Conlon is in there as well now. Conlon and Radisek with Bentley not playing.
Radisek in for Bentley, expecting to pass.
2nd and 10, draw play, read well by number 72, Art Still. And Still has played a big first half thus far.
Still with 12 tackles last week to lead his team. There's the hurry-up offense, and there are the subs coming off, and they made it to the sideline.
And when they went off, then Cincinnati for a moment hesitated.
And then they sent in the 4 wide receivers. Well, all right. So what they're saying is, we'll let you make your substitutes, and then we'll make ours after you make yours. Well, the chess battle continues.
3rd and 10. Over the middle, Brown, incomplete. And there are 3 Bills right there. Kirby Jackson, an extra defensive back, Leonard Smith. And the Bengals will have to punt it away as Esiason could not find his favorite target, Eddie Brown. Lee Johnson. Errol Tucker at the Buffalo 19. Fair catch. Tucker at the 24. So with a timeout here at Riverfront Stadium, 11:23 left in the second quarter. It's tied at 7.
Please fill in the space. Which car has the...
It was all Big Ten. Look at that for the nose tackle, how much he leads the rest in tackles on the year.
The other thing that's interesting about this tackle chart, Fulcher and Wilcox are safeties. And in a defense designed for the linebackers, you go 4 deep to find the first linebacker. Now that says something about your personnel, good and bad.
From the 25, Kelly with success through the air on that last drive comes out throwing on first down, and it's Andre Reed. 6 more yards for Reed. That's his 4th catch. Eric Thomas to the cover.
Buffalo is not experiencing any success with their running game. They do not have a single first down rushing the football so far. The wide receivers are catching the football, and that's where the success has come. You got to believe that they'll keep going with it until Cincinnati gets out there to stop it.
2nd and 4. Reed again, wide open underneath, and out of bounds at the 45-yard line. So Reed has 5 catches. Lewis Billups was the closest Bengal.
One of the most unusual stances, a very wide base for Crumry as he goes to work on Hall and doesn't find Hall. He finds Hellestray, the guard, and they're double teaming him just like they'll double team Bruce Smith. When you've got a guy that's an impact player, you try and take him out of the game. With this man, that's very, very difficult to do.
Rich of the nose of Crumry showing the wear of this first half.
Looks like a gladiator in there, doesn't he?
First down at the 45. Going deep, but too long for Trumaine Johnson. And Johnson had a step on Lewis Billups. Only pressure on Kelly. He wasn't allowed full time to search out there. Was Reggie Williams in on a dog. There's Williams, the councilman. He says, you know, trying to be a councilman and also a football player, you can bite off more than you can chew, but then you just chew it all anyway and develop a bigger appetite. Jamie Mueller, the fullback, has some room and a first down at the Cincinnati 43. Mueller, big and strong, 225 pounds, 13 yards on the play.
Mueller's the kind of fullback that I remember from the 60s. That big bull that just, you know, he starts inside. He's not worried about the cutback. He's looking for somebody to run over in there. Well, I tell you, if you can give Mueller the ball enough times and let him work on that defense, he'll wear him down. He's like a body puncher. And that is their first down rushing the football in this game.
Kelly, the Metzelars, and it's another first down inside the 30. And the Bills are moving very efficiently. Every play seeming to work. 15 on that one.
After going through a season where Kelly basically was locked into the running game and only allowed to pass on downs where he had to pass, they've really opened it up the past 2 weeks. 16 of the 19 plays they opened with last week against Houston passing plays. And they have gone to the air successfully here today.
He really had Leon White on a carousel on that play. Incomplete as his receiver, Trumaine, no, it's Metzelars, the tight end, coming back for the ball. Reggie Williams there for Cincinnati.
War of the hands inside. You see that hand shot out there by Hall. He wants to neutralize Crumry. Oh, that's so frustrating inside when you got to go through 3 people. You get past the center, the guard is there. You get past the guard, the fullback is there. Feels like a forest in there.
There's the matchup. Kent Hall, who is going to the Pro Bowl for Buffalo against Tim Crumry, the Pro Bowler, All-Pro, nose tackle. 2nd and 10. Mueller. No, it's Carl Byram just into the game, and Byram on a quick hitter up the middle, and the former Mississippi Valley State star. He played with Jerry Rice, the great wide receiver of the 49ers in college. Gets about 4 or 5.
Trying to neutralize inside, trying to take advantage of Scow. Jim Scow at 245, one of the smallest ends in the league. You see him there, number 70. They actually were able to get outside of him on that play, but gained very little on what appeared to be a passing down.
He made less than it first appeared. Marv Levy is looking at 3rd and 7. Shotgun Kelly. incomplete. Eric Thomas broke up the pass intended for Andre Reed.
The Bengals have used David Fulcher differently today than we have seen him utilized in the past. Very often in the past up on the line, almost like a big linebacker, but with that leg injury, he's been playing deep much more today. And I think because they're concerned about getting him into a position where he doesn't have to run so far.
Field goal try by Scott Norwood will be about 43 yards. He missed only 5 of 37 this year. He's on his way to the Pro Bowl. It is no good. Wide to the left. That has been the jinx end of Riverfront Stadium for the kickers the last 3 weeks. We had a brief technical problem. We lost the picture. Here it is again. Norwood, who missed only 5 of 37 all year, unable to connect from 43. Wide to your right, to his left.
And that missed extra point last week against the Seahawks at that same end of the field off to the right. These folks here in Cincinnati may bronze that goalpost down there and move it into a museum somewhere.
Yeah, they've been rubbing it with magic dust. First it was Low Miller, the Redskins, hitting it from short range. Final game of the season that allowed Cincinnati to go into overtime and beat the Redskins. Last week it was the missed extra point by Norm Johnson at that end. And Scott Norwood today, for him, certainly well within his range. This outstanding young kicker from James Madison. His long this year, 49 yards. He misses from 43. So it remains 7-all. And Cincinnati takes over at its 26-yard line. Tied at 7. 8 minutes, 40 seconds left first half. Bengals finding it very tough to run on this Bills defense. Scott Radisek in there early again. He started with Kansas City, then waived by the Chiefs last year, and Buffalo has found a happy place for him. One of the many great Penn State linebackers who have succeeded in the NFL.
He's also one of those rejects from Kansas City that Walt Torrey was so happy to get a hold of, and he's got 3 on this defense.
Radisek still, and Sherman Pocroft, the defensive back. Ickey Woods. First down at the 38-yard line for the rookie Woods. The last 2 Bills, Kelso and Burrows, got him to the turf.
Watch how Ickey Woods starts off tackle with the slant play and then cuts back against the grain to pick up that yardage. A play they have run so effectively all year long, takes advantage of quick pursuit, over pursuit by the defense.
Esiason going deep for Brown. Incomplete at the 25-yard line. Good coverage, Buffalo. It was Mark Kelso, number 38, right with Brown.
Things look differently at the end of the play as you watch Kelso working man-to-man. Looks like he kind of got stepped on. Look how he's headed to the ground right at that last second. Oh, I tell you, that's a lot of good hitting, a lot of good man-to-man play out on that field this afternoon.
2nd and 10, tied at 7-all. Tim McGee, and he's nailed immediately by Darryl Talley.
You ask me who the most underrated player is on the field today, I think maybe I'd give you that name, Darryl Talley. He has been an impact player, but there are so many guys that you have to look at on this Buffalo defense. He kind of gets shorted.
Talley racing off the field and then reversing his field as he stays in on 3rd and 5. Actually, 3rd and a long 4. Jennings, first down, Buffalo 48. Talley made the hit. They caught them looking pass, and Jennings, who doesn't often get the call, had a big hole.
Buffalo had sent Bruce Smith to the left end, Cornelius Bennett out of position to right end. Here he is, and they go right at him, and Munoz just pushes him off the ball. Ickey Woods with all kinds of room to run, or not Woods, but Stanley Wilson. Wilson, of course, with 2 big touchdowns in that game last week.
Cornelius Bennett from Alabama, the biscuit.
He's no match physically for Munoz. That's just a size mismatch. As strong as Bennett is, you don't want him over there very often.
Here's Ickey Woods. And suddenly, Cincinnati finds its running game. 16 for Woods.
If you want to feel the power of that offensive line, watch this play develop. Look at the size of that hole ripped in Buffalo's defense. And there's a man who knows how to take advantage of that kind of opportunity.
Munoz just sealing his side of that hole. A wall block by Munoz, the All-Pro, number 78. First down at the Buffalo 32. The game is tied at 7. Less than 5 minutes left. First half. Esiason. And Bruce Smith limping as he chases Esiason off the field inside the 25. And Smith obviously back in action, but he is not 100%.
Smith and Conlon are both nursing injuries, and those are 2 of the most important of the defenders for Buffalo. And when you're hurting that way, you're used to being able to call on that speed. Bruce Smith with great speed and power and quickness, a wonderful combination. But you're right, he does not have that full throttle. He can go about half throttle, and that's it.
2nd and 5.
They switched Smith back to his ordinary position, and he's in a 2-point stance.
Stanley Wilson close to a first down. Oh, that's hurting Buffalo. Maybe it hurts too much for him to get down in a 3-point stance.
I think that's what's happened. He's found that he can't get out of a regular 3-point stance, so he's going to play out of the 2-point stance. Well, he gets a piece of Stanley on that play, but not enough to get him stopped.
Clock is running near the 4-minute mark. 4:18 left in the first half. Is Shane Conlon on the sideline. So injuries part of the Buffalo story on defense,
as it was the last time this team played here.
First down at the 22. And Esiason yelling a new play at the line of scrimmage. Woods. Boy, is he a load. Ickey Woods, 232 pounds. He's inside the 15.
If you're wondering why that play was successful, let's take a chance to watch it. Watch what they do on the backside here. Smurlus is stunning. He gets hooked. Ickey Woods will start this way and then come back inside. And it's the cutback that makes it successful. Watch how he cuts back against the grain. Bentley overruns the play, number 50. Boy, I'd say they're taking advantage of the reactions, the good reactions of the defense, and sealing down on the backside.
Woods with 7 on that carry. He has 47 in this first half. And he gets his number called again. And he has a first down at the 10-yard line.
Ickey Woods cut back against the grain, and just when you say we've got to be careful that they don't cut back, they come right at you and drive you off the ball. Riggs 87, Munoz 78, all driving off that ball. Reimers, boy, I tell you, those guys are deadly.
They have to go the full 10 yards for the touchdown. First and goal. Actually, they might even be inches away from a first down should they get that close. Esiason, wide open is Brooks. 10-yard mortar toss. Boomer to James Brooks.
Boomer just threw that football up like it was on a hanger. He just fired it up out of the silo. He knew he had to get it out of his hand. He knew that Brooks would come open. He just had to hang it up there and let Brooks wait for it, get underneath it. What a beautiful play.
Jim Breach tries the point after. You know, that pass reminds me, was right down in the baseball end of the field where Johnny Bench used to catch those high pop-ups behind home plate. That's about what that Esiason throw looked like.
When you talk about a touch pass, this is what you're talking about. Look how long that ball is in the air to give Brooks the opportunity to get open.
And with 2:21 left in the half, Cincinnati back in front.
What does the 1-minute rate comparison mean to you as a company? There aren't.
Field to his son Boomer. Hard to earn that nickname with a pass like the last one. That was hardly a boomer, but it certainly worked for 7 on the board. Lee Johnson drills a kickoff deep in the end zone, and Tucker will take the touchback at the 20. Just a footnote on Boomer Esiason's father. He said, I respect him more than anyone. Whenever I'm in trouble, I always call my dad. He always seems to say the right thing. Norman Esiason Sr., his wife, died when Boomer was 5 years old, and he never married. He raised the 3 kids, 2 older daughters, and Boomer himself. Boy, you talk about the pride he has watching this game.
Breaking the buttons, popping them off.
There comes Kelly in Buffalo. That pass underneath. Cincinnati dropping off the defense, and Kelly picking on those 8-9-yard patterns.
And it looks like they're going to the hurry-up offense. They hurt Cincinnati in that early game in the second half with the spread offense.
They won't run
this one. Another play, though.
We're down to the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes left in the first half in Cincinnati.
Honda presents Definitions of the Game. Power and inner strength, a source of force or energy. Power, as defined by Jim Brown.
Honda Accord Coupe. It's music to your eyes.
Have you ever tried a beer and felt like the taste just missed your mouth? Well, taste again. Because times have changed. Here's one big, bold draft that packs a full-tilt taste you can get your hands around. Extra Gold Draft. It's the biggest taste that's happened to beer since they put it in cans.
Now, we want to get all this straight, our facts right. That is Boomer Esiason.
That is Boomer, and someone in the stands masquerading as Boomer's father has been incorrectly identified. We'll find the real father out there.
He is here, and he is equally proud, you can be sure. You're going to wear those when we get to Miami?
I don't think we're going to need these in Miami, Dick. We're going to need them before this game is out. It is going to be a little bit chillier by the time this game closes.
Yeah, if a Buffalo fan now has to be concerned about ways Cincinnati moved the ball on the ground that last series, and I believe some of the injured defensive players for Buffalo might actually be hurting the club by playing.
When you're really hurt, there are times you have to get off the field.
On the ground, that'll be a first down carry for Jamie Mueller. Did you ever play when you were hurt? No.
I did, Dick, and I was strong enough to stay on the field. But Walt Corey said yesterday when I was talking to him about Shane Conlon, he said, how can I tell Shane Conlon he can't play in this game?
Kelly, incomplete to Ronnie Harmon. Harmon out of the backfield at the 40. That stops the clock with 1 minute, 36 seconds left in the half.
Buffalo's success in this first half has come when they have run on the passing downs and thrown against the base defense. But in this situation, everybody knows what's coming.
Incomplete. Ronnie Harmon trying to run before he caught the ball, and the screen was set up for him. Jason Buck was the man who put pressure on Kelly.
Those are their hand signals. Working the crowd.
3rd and 10. And Kelly in the grass. David Grant, the rookie from West Virginia, has the first sack of the game. So now Cincinnati will call one of its 3 timeouts with 1:26 left, as they may have a chance to add to the 14-7 lead.
What a tough position. David Grant steps in to play in back of Tim Crumry. In very limited appearances, he's got 5 sacks. Boy, look how quickly he is in on top of Kelly, and no question at all. Gene Barth has blown it dead in the grasp and control. Little Darth Vader in that look, isn't there?
Well, he was disappointed, as all Mountaineer fans were, with the result of the Fiesta Bowl, but trying to splash some of his own headlines around as this rookie lineman from Mountaineer country. Big sack on Kelly and forcing John Kidd and the punting team on the field. Ira Hillary from South Carolina, the kick return man at the 35-yard line.
Cincinnati special teams instrumental in that big victory against Seattle last week. Let's see if they can't do something to help here.
Grant was the man in. Uh-oh. Ball up for grabs. And finally covered by Brady, Ed Brady, the man who snapped the ball. There he is, 55 from Illinois.
And Dick, in every ball game, there are going to be about 4 plays that are up for grabs. That's one of them right there. The ball loose on the ground, touched already by the Bengals. Now, as soon as that ball is touched, the ball is a free ball. It's bouncing around, up off the ground. Dixon can't get a hold of it. A chance for Buffalo to get it. Another shot at scoring here, but the ball bounces back into the hands of the Bengals.
Now Cincinnati has it at the 35 with 1 minute 15 seconds left. 2 timeouts remain for the Bengals. They lead 14-7. Kelso is all the way to the 29, and Buffalo has another chance.
It looked for just a second like there might be an alley up the far side of the field, and Kelso stays on the ground as he is taken down hard. But Brian Blados and a couple of other offensive linemen out there very quickly, as was Esiason.
Kelso led the Bills with 7 interceptions this year, had 6 to lead the club last year, 1 for a touchdown. Fans will remember the one in Green Bay, or against Green Bay, where he went 78 yards. It did look like he had the sidelines clear.
Let's see. Oh, no, I see why he went the other way.
Eddie Brown.
Eddie Brown with great speed out there, and they were also getting help out there.
Stanford Jennings is the man who applied the blow as Brown was making the tackle.
Smith going over. He'll get in front of Esiason and get a little push on him. Well, Boomer says, I can bulldog like those Cowboys I watch on TV.
In the meantime, 2 interceptions aside in this first half, and 1 minute 2 seconds left for Buffalo, but another injury that has to concern Marv Levy, another key defensive player.
That's a man who has 7 interceptions on the season, a big one last week. Let's take a peek and see what happens at the end of this play.
He seems to be down before the ball.
That ball did
free.
come loose, but his body appeared to be on the ground. And I'll say again, this is a dangerous turf. In talking to Max Montoya, starting guard for the Bengals, He said, I put on the oldest pair of shoes I have because this turf is so sticky that your cleats just lock into it. And he was talking about the injury to Joe Walder earlier in the year. He said nobody hit Walder. Walder just turned and that knee went. Picture of Kelso, the man who has been helped off the field, and we mentioned the big interception in that victory over Houston last week. He appears to be all right. That's good news.
See Cornelius Bennett give Jim Kelly a hey, go get him now smack as he came on the field. Ball at the 29, a chance for Buffalo to tie. Dumps it off to Ronnie Harmon. And Harmon is to the 26-yard line. Couldn't get out of bounds. Wilcox made the tackle. Buffalo has 3 timeouts. Now down to 2. Kelly slides into the 21. That'll be 2 yards shy of a first down with 31 seconds to go in the half. Kelso being walked off. We have a timeout.
Send up a cross punt.
This week he had numbers like Weiss had, and Weiss was running the football 47 times.
3rd down and 2. The injury to Kelso was an ankle. We'll give you the details later when we hear official word. He needs 2 for a first down. And can't hit Trumaine Johnson, who was open. He had both Reed and Johnson in the same line, with Andre Reed shallow and Johnson deep to the sidelines. Here comes Scott Norwood, who missed from 43 yards. This one will be shorter, about 39. John Kidd, the punter, will spot it. Solid all season, hits it cleanly. 14-10. An important 3-pointer for Buffalo when it appeared that Cincinnati would have a chance to add to a 14-7 lead. The interception by Kelso leads to 3 points and a 14-10 game.
And no question who the 2 emotional leaders are on these 2 teams. They're the quarterbacks. Kelly quickly out on the field to tell Norwood, yeah, that's what we needed. We needed those 3 to go back into the locker room with. It does put a nice knot at the end of this first half for this Buffalo team. They were feeling a little bit badly about squandering some opportunities here.
We talk about dreams coming true. Pat Kelly said, I wanted to be an NFL quarterback since I can remember. 6, 7 years old. He had an older brother, Pat, who played briefly in the NFL with the Colts. And he said, I just idolized my older brother, 10 years older, and I wanted to do that. Where Boomer Esiason, I said, did you always want to be a football player? He said, no. He said, I love baseball, but the real sport, he said, I wanted to play center ice for the New York Rangers. He said, Jean Rattel was my idol. I said, oh, number 7 like you. He said, number 7, that was Raj Gilbert. He knew what he was talking about.
Well, the Boomer. So important to have the great trigger man, a man who can run the offense. And I don't think there's a quarterback in the league who is asked to do as many things as Sam Wyche asks Boomer Esiason to do. Not only to call all the plays, pre-read the defense and call the defense, but he also adjusts all the protection for the offensive lineman and calls the line blocking for each different defensive set. Now that is a load of responsibility for the quarterback.
Norwood spins it fairly short. Hillary at the 18. And he has trouble again. Covers the ball right there, and a flag goes down.
And that's a good call. There's no reason to nail a man when he's on the ground and he's not going to move. And Gene Barth is not going to allow that.
Wayne Davis, 21 appeals.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 94, 15 and a first down.
It's obvious that man's not going anywhere. Just touch him. He's down.
Mark Pike. And that'll take it out to the 34. Hillary, who bobbled one last week to set up a possible chance for Seattle. Seahawks didn't capitalize.
What they called Pike for was the use of the helmet. never allowed to spear a man with that helmet.
Esiason just takes the snap. Cincinnati content with a 4-point lead. 10 seconds to go in the half, and both teams on their way to the warmth of the locker room. A pretty even match this first half. Buffalo and Cincinnati both enjoying their moments. The home team in the jungle, the Bengals, have the advantage at the intermission by 4.
We're very fortunate in pro football to have the fans.
Happens, the announcement by the NFL that we couldn't play the way we have all season long is going to have impact on my team.
I think he's right about that. I would say, as I said before, that I think some of the impact is positive because I think it got him juiced up. But in talking to him before the game, he said, I didn't sleep a lick last night. He got an inkling. He had a warning that this was going to happen. But I can't believe that the NFL waited until 2 hours before the game to talk to Sam Wyche about the problem they were going to drop on him today.
Lee Johnson, and this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Harmon and Riddick with Errol Tucker deep for Buffalo. The second half is underway. He sails it high. Tucker from Utah. He's a flyer. Oh, but he gets shot down at the 19-yard line. Emmanuel King, number 90, made the tackle in front of this. That we couldn't play the way we have all season long is going to have impact on my team.
I think he's right about that. I would say, as I said before, that I think some of the impact is positive because I think it got him juiced up. But in talking to him before the game, he said, I didn't sleep a lick last night. He got an inkling. He had a warning that this was going to happen. But I can't believe that the NFL waited until 2 hours before the game to talk to Sam Wyche about the problem they were going to drop on him today.
Lee Johnson, and this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Harmon and Riddick with Errol Tucker deep for Buffalo. The second half is underway. He sails it high. Tucker from Utah. He's a flyer. Oh, but he gets shot down at the 19-yard line. Emmanuel King, number 90, made the tackle in front of this big crowd in the jungle. And there
now,
is
who do you think
Norman
that
Esiason.
is? Oh, there. Now we know.
Well, the story is still as appropriate. That's the real Norman Esiason Sr. They'll wait for his son to appear later. It's Buffalo's turn. And, of course, the first series of the second half, so important in setting the tempo. Mueller hit in the backfield. Stop. No gain. Leon White submarining under the pile to get at his legs.
Both of these teams minus a very important cog in their offensive line. Tim Vogler, a knee operation early in the season. Joe Walter out with a knee operation. But you can't worry about the guys who aren't here. You got to play with the ones who are.
Reed, who caught 5 passes in the first half, is split left in the slot. They go the other way, and again a drop as Thurman Thomas, a la Ronnie Harmon in the first half, trying to run before he caught the ball. 3rd and 10.
Still amazing to me that in a game of this emotional level, where all of the basics seem to have been covered. I mean, this is one of the first things you learn when you're in Pop Warner football. Catch the football and then go upfield.
You could see his head turning upfield before he'd really pulled it in. Stanley Wilson leading the cheers in the jungle. Jason Buck. The former Outland Trophy winner at BYU, sprinting in from the flank to sack Kelly for the second time in the game.
One of the biggest improvements on this defense has been the development on the pass rush of Jason Buck, number 99. You see him coming from the side, from his right end position, and just blitzing in there. Look how quickly he's in on the blind side of the quarterback to smother Kelly.
9-yard loss. Into punch on Kidd. He'll kick from around his own goal line to Ira Hickory at midfield. Wobbly and short. And it takes a Cincinnati, now a Buffalo bounce. And will die at the Bill 48-yard line. So the first series won by the Cincinnati defense. And now the Buffalo defense will have a chance to answer Boomer Esiason and the Bengal offense.
And so often the tempo for the second half set in the first matchup. Buffalo's first offensive series, 3 and out. Now let's see how Cincinnati can do offensively against Buffalo's defense.
Ickey Woods, who led all rushers in the first half, is a solo running back. Yards for the rookie. He rushed for over 1,000 yards in the regular season. Bengals come out passing. Chris Collinsworth, the veteran from Florida. His first catch today. Leonard Smith made the tackle. And Mark Kelso, we understand that ankle injury is fairly serious. He is not in the lineup. So still another blow suffered by a banged-up Bill defense.
Kelso, one of those players that's so critical because he's the kind of guy that comes up with big plays to turn things around. He can't make the big plays from the sideline.
2nd and 5. Leaning into the 38. That'll be very close to a first down. Scott Radisek, 97. The first white shirt to get there with Leonard Smith on support. Bruce Smith, meanwhile, what's happening to him?
Well, I mentioned how those injuries tend to tighten up. He cannot get down on his stance, and I think at this point he is hurting his team by being out there on the field. I know he wants to play, but at that play he's totally ineffective.
3rd and 1. Woods. First down at the 35. Cornelius Bennett around the ankles.
You see the combination blocking. Kozerski, and then he notices the way Smith driven off the side. That's Leonard Smith, 46. Paul McGuire talked about his importance to this defense before the ball game started.
Not much there that time for Woods. Stopped after a yard gain by the center of the Bills defense. Last week against Seattle, you see the 63 in ink pen on the side of the helmets, that in honor of Joe Walter, their tackle, who had knee surgery a week and a half ago.
Well, and of course Jim Kelly, in his following the game last week, or before the game actually, dedicated that game to Tim Vogler. They're missing offensive linemen. Big men in the trenches being remembered.
You see Mark Kelso is back for Buffalo. 2nd and 8. Esiason tipped by Bentley and in a crowd. That one up for grabs for a moment. Scott Radisek was there. He may have touched it.
Radisek batting that ball away, and Radisek does not have the physical talent of a number of other linebackers on this Buffalo team, but he's like a quarterback defensively on the field. He's the kind of guy who knows where to go to get into position. Watch him, left side of your screen, right there. Just a quick shot. And you're right, Bentley did have a chance to get his hands on that football. You saw him get one earlier in this ball game.
Collinsworth right, Eddie Brown to the left. 3rd and 8. Oops, Jennings moved early. And that one knocked down by Art Still. And Still almost with an interception. Jennings moved early. That's a motion penalty against Cincinnati that may be declined by Buffalo.
Stunned on that play. Smirlis going to the left, Still coming to the right, and there's Still. Wow, that's like playing at the tennis. Just swat. Take that one.
The overhead. Derek Burrows, the cornerback for Buffalo, on one knee.
Boy, Buffalo having all kinds of problems, and let's go back to that last play and watch what Buffalo has been doing a great deal of stunning. Now watch Smirlis. He'll come to this side and Still will come around to this side, and from this position will jump in the air to bat that football down. Here's the stunt. Now watch her right here. That's kind of tennis, isn't it, Dick?
That's right. With a racket, he'd have put it away.
They've been using stunts on the running game as well. It's one of the reasons they've been effective. But boy, there is another injury to this Buffalo defense, as if they didn't have enough problems already. And Burrows, who's had a great year at cornerback. In fact, I think that the improvement, and I agree with Paul McGuire, in this defense has come more than anything at those corner positions.
Lee Johnson in the punt as Buffalo stops the Bengals at the 33. There's Tucker. Pretty good kick. Right at the 10, 11. They're going to mark it at the 12-yard line. Timeout with 10:45 left in the third quarter.
You're looking sharp. You're looking good. You've come so far. And we know how.
By Gillette and the Gillette Atra Plus shaving system. Gillette, the best a man can get. From Riverfront Stadium, the Bills trail the Bengals 14-10. Buffalo ball, and Thurman Thomas trying to get outside. David Fulcher, the Pro Bowl safety, who is built like a linebacker, but he can run with the running backs.
Fulcher not only is built like a safety, but he carries the weight. A 245-pound free safety. Watch him come right up to the ball and take his man down. And Thurman Thomas has really been shut down here in this ball game by this Bengal defense. And the Buffalo offense has had its only success in the air, basically. They're going to have to control the football with the short passing game and try and move it down the field that way.
Kelly doing a great job of getting away for a moment. Now he throws, almost intercepted. Oh my. Threw it just blindly, and Reggie Williams almost came up with it. Carl Zander applying pressure.
Dick, you don't want to just toss that football downfield. Almost another critical mistake by Kelly. You're right. He does get away from the rush here. He should have just unloaded that football. Well, there's no way that they had him there, but ooh. Yeah.
They call that a sack for Reggie Williams. Grasp and control at the 6-yard line. So now it's 3rd and 17 for the Bills at their 6-yard line. Direct snap to Ronnie Harmon, and Harmon is tripped up at the 7. Eric Thomas, 22.
Buffalo has had its only success, and it's been limited running the football in passing situations. But you're going to be willing to give up a lot of yards. Watch the snap right here. Kelly making it look like it's coming to him, but look how that thing closed down inside. They wanted the quick trap. Nobody home there, and a lot of speed outside to take Harmon down. They'll have to kick from their own end zone.
And pinched at the back end of that end zone is John Kidd. Ira Hillary out at the 45. End over end. Gonna let it bounce. That was a mistake. And it gets the Bills another 12 yards to the 47-yard line. First down, Cincinnati on a 46-yard clutch kick by Kidd. Timeout.
Oh, Harold, it's lovely.
I hope you like it.
It reminds me of when we first got electric light.
Against John L. Williams, Kurt Warner, and the Seahawks, and they've done a good job today, allowing only 35 yards rushing. David Grant with a big sack late in the first half, the rookie. Lineman Marv Levy's defense on the field now, and Derek Burrows has returned at cornerback. First down at the 47 for Cincinnati, leading 14-10. Esiason ripped down by Art Still. The four-time Pro Bowler Still finding new youth in Buffalo at 33. What a play.
They've tried to give Brian Blados some help over there. But Blados, who's a great pass blocker, 315 pounds, not quite quick enough on this play to slow down Art Still. He just threw that big body of his across the back of Boomer Esiason. And of course, that's Boomer's blind side. He's a left-handed quarterback, and his blind side opposite to that of the right-handers.
That was a check the label tackle. He wanted to see what was on the inside. Second and long, Ickey Woods. He's cut off at the corner, and a good play by Darryl Talley. Gain of only a yard to the 41-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 16. Reminder, we'll be selecting our Budweiser Most Valuable Player at the conclusion of today's game. And Ira Hillary and Eddie Brown all to the right. Collinsworth and McGee to the left. So 5 receivers in and no running back. And Buffalo sees that and calls timeout.
I don't blame them.
7:19 left in the 3rd quarter. Still 14-10 Bengals.
Of course, Buffalo with 6 defensive backs in this long yardage situation.
And Cincinnati comes back with the same formation. No running back. That's Bruce Smith darting in and out. Finally, Munoz takes him. Almost intercepted by Talley as Esiason forcing the ball, looking for Eddie Brown, who doesn't get up. Brown, as he made his dive for the ball, injuring himself.
We went into this game, and Brown still on the ground. Eddie Brown, one of the finest receivers in all of football and such an important part of this offense. Watch this last play. The pressure is inside, and Esiason feels that it's coming. Even though he had time to throw that football, he pushed that pass a little bit, and Talley did a great job of getting his hand on it, almost intercepting.
But Leonard Smith would disagree. Let's watch it again. Leonard Smith said, Talley, get out of the way. I had it timed perfectly for an interception. Now watch it again as Brown makes his cut. Talley, 56 region. But look at Smith coming up from the backside. Oh, he said, I would have had that one.
You never know. I'll tell you, and don't say to Talley you're not doing your job. Right. He's got one thing in mind. If that football is heading into his territory, he's supposed to get a hand on it and knock it down or intercept it.
It appeared that Eddie Brown took a blow in the back as Smith came by to try to make the interception. Maybe the ribs.
Another quick look at that play, and both teams using crossing patterns, trying to get underneath those linebackers. Yeah, you can't get underneath a guy who's moving that fast laterally.
And Brown again.
Let's see if we can see what happened to him. There's Talley. He twists so quickly. And again, I think maybe that sticky turf had something to do with it. When I say sticky turf, when you come down, your feet are planted, there's just no give. On a normal artificial turf, there's a little bit of slide. But this one, as we mentioned, a brand new turf put in after the last football season, and it just grabs those cleats and does not let them go.
Tucker back at the 20-yard line as Lee Johnson to punt. Brown did walk off under his own power. Tucker having trouble. Can they save it?
No.
Yes. Stanford Jennings is the man who batted the ball back at the 1-yard line.
It looked to me, and I guess our angle is bad, that ball was going to make its way into the end zone. Watch the ball. If that ball crosses into the end zone, boy, that is a heads-up play. What a great play by the special teams for the Bengals.
Timeout. Buffalo will start from its 1. Jennings doesn't actually touch the ball. It just decides to die there.
It's got a funny shape, and sometimes it bounces for you and sometimes against you. Just hit on its point and kick back into the field of play.
Kelly to Mueller. Oh, is he hit? Crumry was in there. I believe he got the first pop, and then there was plenty of help. Reggie Williams filling.
And Dick, this is where a defensive team can feed off the emotion of this crowd.
Been 3 downs and a kick for the Bills here in the second half, and they're deep in their own end. 2nd and 9.
Now, right now, their defense is keeping them in this second half.
Mueller again. Zander and Crumry. I'll tell you what, if you want to look at the dictionary for football lineman defense, you might find Crumry's picture by the definition.
You'd find it, and then you look at this guy because he doesn't look like the Crumry we watch. He is not as impressive physically as he is in terms of the performance on the field.
3rd and 8, Buffalo. Thomas and Mueller. It's Thomas this time. He gets a yard.
Marv Levy trying to do just one thing here. He'd love the first down, but more than anything, he wants room to punt the football. And look how quickly the hole closes in front right there of Thurman Thomas.
Leon White was there first. Kidd to punt, and he has to put his heels right on that back line. Ira Hillary, who has had his troubles fielding punts, is back inside the 45. Good kick. Hillary all the way back to his 48. Gets a block. And he's to the 40-yard line. Now Buffalo. Ray Bentley made the tackle. 50-yard punt. 15 on the return. Tim Crumry gets a rest.
We're not a couple. Tastes so good to have you back again. How long has it been? We're back for a limited time.
Delicious double cheeseburger is back with new golden large-size fries.
Seems like a mighty good time, great taste of McDonald's. Shoot up, double cheeseburger.
General manager, the owner, the Hall of Famer, Paul Brown, up in the Eagles' nest, if there is such a thing in the jungle. His team leads 14-10. A very defensive second half thus far, and part of it dictated by the Bills' poor field position.
It is a field position game, Dick Enberg. But I got to say, down there backed up in your own end zone with the Bengals thinking run all the way, a great opportunity to throw the ball. Now, there are percentage passes you can throw down there that are just as safe as a running game. And, boy, I think that's the time you got to go for it. Just take it. Because if you don't win this game, where do you go? You go home and say, gee, if only we had done this, if and why. It's a tough one to call, but I think you're going to take some risks in the next game.
Well, Marv Levy apparently figuring 4:45 left in the third period, only a 4-point game. He's going to get more chances. He didn't want to give Cincinnati a cheap one. Cincinnati, for whatever reason, has called a timeout. Now here comes Boomer Esiason back onto the field.
That means that both teams have utilized one of their precious timeouts here in the second half.
Next weekend, be sure to join NBC Sports. A great golf, great fun. The Bob Hope Chrysler Classic annual affair here on the Peacock. The PGA Tour's top golfers, and they have a great time competing for more than $1 million in prize money. Also a great Pro-Am, Oral Hershiser schedule. President Gerald Ford, Mickey Rooney. The Bob Hope Chrysler Classic next weekend on NBC. From the 40-yard line in Buffalo territory, Cincinnati with 4:43 left in the third quarter. Good protection. Good throw. Jim Riggs, a tight end, bounced by Leonard Smith at the 36.
Dick, an interesting innovation on the sideline for Buffalo. They only had 8 defensive players on the field. They had 3 of their guys standing over there amongst a group, and when they could figure out who was on the field for Cincinnati, Walt Corey sent in the rest of his defense. Now, the one danger in that, what if they snap the football and you're 8 against 11?
Yeah, they didn't say about too few men on the field, did they?
That's right. Well, defensively, I guess you could play with 3 if you wanted to.
Second and 7, Nicky Woods inside the 35 to the 33, a gain of 3. Third and 4.
The defenses have really taken charge here in this second half. Very nice play from the backside by Art Still. Saw him make a sack here in the second half, and he made a good backside pursuit play on Nicky Woods, who was trying to cut back against the grain on that play.
Tim McGee to the right, Chris Collinsworth to the left, double tight end with Brooks in the backfield. Brooks. And those happy feet don't get very far. Darryl Talley spearheading the defensive charge.
We talked about Shane Conlon's problems with that foot. Let's see how he is using his talents here. Max Montoya. Boy, you can feel the pain in that foot as you watch him try and plant it and get going. You see him heading for the sideline. Boy, I tell you, it's tough to play when you can't drive off of one of those feet.
The Bills defense has stopped Cincinnati again. Turk Schoenert is in the game. They line up in punt formation and they fake it. First down, Cincinnati. Stanley Wilson runs it up the middle. Now that'll be a play that we'll want to mark. Could be a key one in the second half.
They had Schoenert go in at one of the up back positions up on the line. He just slides in under the quarterback. And, of course, they've got big people in there. There's Munoz, a lot of the regular offensive line in, and they made it easily.
Picked up about 6 yards. And now are in field goal range. James Brooks to the 21-yard line, leaving a wake of Buffalo tacklers behind him. Still and Conlon finally got him to the ground.
Sam White is always innovative. I guess maybe he's offering some other things. He said, well, you're going to legislate against the attack offense. What about this? You're going to legislate against this?
Well, he is an ingenious guy, and I think he's good for the game. He's going to make all the coaches think about a better way to accomplish. Ickey Woods. And he's stopped by Smith and Smirlis. That's going to be close to another first down, however. See that ponytail of Ickey Woods. We asked him about it. He said that he really feels it has something to do with the Samson strength. He needs the long hair. His best years have come when he's had plenty of hair.
Well, he had it when he was in high school. They made him cut it off when he first got to UNLV, and they didn't let him wear it until he was a senior. And it was as a senior that he finally got a chance to start. Exploded on the national scene, led the nation as a rusher. The #2 pick here, their top pick. And he has had a remarkable season. In fact, many people feel that he should have been a Rookie of the Year.
And one of those was John Stevens, who won it. And he was awarded before the game today, the running back for the New England Patriots. He was quoted here in Cincinnati saying he thought Woods should have won it. An act of modesty on the part of the fine young man in New England. It's short of the first down. Third and about a foot. To the 10-yard line. And he came close to taking that one all the way to the end zone. Sherman Cockcroft in the deep secondary finally dragged him down.
Against this Buffalo defense, they have really simplified the running game. They're running that off-tackle play, and they're cutting back off the same play, and they're not doing a whole lot besides that. And look what they've been able to do. Well, that's Buffalo's numbers there. 27 points in the third quarter, best in the NFL. Well, they're in danger of giving some up right now.
Full 10 yards to go for Cincinnati. And they get 5 on the throw to the tight end Holman. Nate Odoms, 37. Pushed him out of bounds.
Let's watch Rodney Holman. Just a quick move inside as if to block. Sprinting to the sideline. Odoms a little late breaking on the ball. But you pick up 5 with that play. A situation where Buffalo, I believe, was expecting the run.
Holman lines up on the right side. Double tight end, Riggs on the left. Woods hit in the backfield and dropped. Shane Conlon shooting through, and he makes a big play for the Bills. And a flag is down over in the corner where Tim McGee and Derek Burrows have been going at it most of this quarter, as McGee trying to block Burrows, and Burrows retaliating. Let's see the call.
We have a personal foul, disqualification on number 29 defense.
Not only a personal foul, but they have thrown Burrows out of the game. What a costly penalty. And I think you're probably right. I think there was a retaliation there, but you can't be dumb in a game like this. You can't help your team from the sideline.
It was well away from the play as McGee trying to block Burrows, and he must have thrown a punch, a forearm, thrown out of the game. Marv Levy loses his starting cornerback and is penalized as well.
Well, not only that, but it's going to nullify a brilliant play by Shane Conlon. Here's the end of that play. Let's see if McGee starts the action here. There's the push. Not a hit, and throw him out of the game. Throw him out of the game.
And McGee, that was a legal block. He's allowed to use his hand. He wasn't doing anything extraordinary there. Doesn't mean that something else hasn't happened earlier. But you don't see
I'm
that
sure
very
there have
often.
been a lot of things happen earlier, Dick, but you can't justify what Derek Burrows did there, not to throw a forearm at the guy's head.
It's a first down, I believe, that goes with that on the personal foul. So it'll be first and goal at the 4-yard line.
Automatic, half the distance to the goal.
That is a huge play.
Just as Shane Conlon steps up, gives you a great play defensively, you do something stupid, you lose a starting cornerback, you give the other team a first down. Big turnaround.
Wayne Davis, who grew up here in Cincinnati, replaces him at the corner. Ickey Woods. And he's down at the 1-yard line. Nate Odom submarining, and the final seconds tick away. That is the end of the third quarter of this AFC Championship. We'll be back after these words from your local station.
Tuesday, Killian puts a convicted killer on the air.
You've claimed that you're innocent.
A sentenced man's last stand.
I didn't kill those 3 kids.
For the biggest cost.
Only to find, instead of third and about 8, that his teammate Derek Burrows was engaged with Tim McGee.
And watch the shot here.
That is a costly forearm.
Oh, that's a chance to turn emotionally. Things had turned with the big play by Conlon. And now you give all of that back and the opportunity to score. Ball down on the 1-yard line.
Well, the emotional control, it's a challenge to every athlete, and in the peak of this moment, he was not being unwatched. Ray Bentley went to stand hurt with a bad leg. Scott Radisek in there at second and goal at the 1-yard line. First play, fourth quarter. Woods plows in. He's shuffling over Buffalo again. Boy, you have to feel for that young man, Derek Burrows.
Some of the most important lessons in life are very painful, Dick.
Jim Breach tacks on the extra point, and aided by a rare, severe personal foul ejection call against Derek Burrows, the Bengal drive continues and results in a 1-yard touchdown, his second of the game for Ickey Woods, and it's now Cincinnati 21, Buffalo 10.
As we look back at this game, that single play with the 2 sides of it may well have been the turning point of this game. The ejection, the big play that was nullified, it leads directly to this touchdown for Cincinnati, and a hollow, bitter feeling for Derek Burrows.
So the Bills now down by more than a touchdown, and one can well guess that they have to be talking about playing big the rest of the way. They have almost a full quarter, 14 minutes, 56 seconds. But they have been stymied in the second half on minus 12 yards. Part of that due to the fact that they've been pinned inside their 10-yard line. He's going to have to open up, Marv Levy, isn't he?
He's going to have to open the gates here, and I'm sure what he said to his team, he said, look up on that scoreboard. We got a lot of time. We are not that far behind, but we have to start doing things.
Not only setting the offense, but now urging the defense. When you get your turn, you got to make something happen. Sam White. First time in the playoffs as a head coach for Whites, who was so close to being fired last year after a dismal season. Ball blown off the tee Lee Johnson will reset it and get some help apparently.
Breeze
Thomas
kicking up here, and that's not good news for a team that wants to throw the football, as the Buffalo Bills must do. This is a gusty stadium, a circling wind that will make it a little tough on Kelly as he takes this ball and heads up the field.
Errol Tucker is the deep man for Buffalo. But it goes to the side, and Ronnie Harmon at the 3. Harmon to the 25-yard line. Emmanuel King, the linebacker, a former #1 pick of the Bengals, makes the tackle along with Ed Brady, 55.
And you say that's not a great return. It's only to the 25. Well, that's sure a lot better than starting on your own 2.
Average drive for the game, the Bills 25, the Bengals from their 41. It seems to have been even greater than that. The penalty flag is down. Personal foul is the signal given by Gene Buck against Buffalo.
A 15-yard penalty, however, it'll be half the distance to the goal line, and then a first down.
Not functioning, so we don't hear his verbal announcement, but they mark it back to the 13-yard line.
It's in this kind of situation where you have made a mistake, where this crowd really makes itself felt. It intensifies the problems. Levy wanted to know who the call was on. Who was it on? Who was it on?
Rob Riddick, apparently, because he was the man arguing most vehemently. Kelly going long. And Burkett, the intended receiver, was a step behind the man covering him, Lewis Phillips. Phillips played at North Alabama. Actually, Bengals are, that's a fairly small football school. Have 2 men in the secondary, Darrell Smith and Lewis Phillips, who were teammates at North Alabama. Kelly, he's got a man open, and hits him. Is he inbounds? No, he couldn't get both feet down. Trumaine Johnson had turned the defensive back around, Eric Thomas, but Kelly appeared his arm may have been hit as he threw the ball.
That ball up there like a wounded duck, wobbling all the way over. Johnson with excellent hands and concentration, able to control it, but his feet just off the sideline. Watch the feet here. Just the second foot on the line, 1 foot down. So very, very close.
Buffalo is 0 for 8 on 3rd downs. Kelly gets away. And unable to pick up the first down as Jason Buck forcing him out of the pocket. And then Crumry caught him downfield. And Buck has had a big game. This #1 pick a year ago out of BYU.
Dick LeBeau has played Buck in what they call a spinner defense. He is the spinner. And boy, look at him spinning in there. Gets the heel of Kelly. Forces him out of there. Kelly gamely picking up what he can, but Buck's mad because he didn't get the sack. He said, I had him. I had that foot.
Well, with 13:45 to go in the 4th quarter, Hillary waiting for Kidd to punt. Short. And takes a healthy Buffalo bounce down through the A of the American Football Championship and finally down at the 33-yard line. Timeout, 13 minutes, 28 seconds left in the 4th. We'll also bring you Bud Bowl 1 coming January 22nd on NBC. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? From Riverfront Stadium, where the Bengals prowl in this their jungle. Fans have cheered a Cincinnati lead, 21-10, 13.5 minutes to go. Buffalo starts after the punt from the 33. Give to Brooks. And Hart still makes another tackle.
Wayne Davis, who has been the 5th defensive back for these Buffalo Bills, has taken Burrow's place at the starting left corner. And of course, anytime you lose a starter out of that defense, you've got to shuffle your 5th and 6th defensive back. So it's not just one man that changes, but the whole scheme has to adjust.
Meanwhile, Sherman Cockcroft has replaced Mark Kelso. We don't know if that ankle injury suffered earlier in the game, bothering
probably tightening up, which happens to those injuries, as we mentioned. And we've seen it happen to Bruce Smith, although he is still on the field right now.
Saw the shift by the tight end Holman off the line. Esiason drills it to Collinsworth, and they call interference on Nate Odoms. Odoms was the youngest defensive player to start last year in the NFL.
Defensive pass interference, number 37, first down.
Collinsworth always one of Boomer's favorite targets. In fact, he said in one year when he was first getting his starts, one ball game he threw the ball about 26 times. He said, I think 18 of them were going toward Collinsworth. Anytime I got in trouble, I looked for that big 6'6" receiver with number 80 on him and tried to get the ball in his direction.
It did appear Odoms had his hands, that right hand wrapped around Collinsworth.
No question about that one. Good call by the official.
First down just inside the Cincinnati 40. Ricky Woods surviving a couple of collisions, and he is out to the 45-yard line, a gain of about 5.
Dick, if you think about it for a second, it's amazing that Buffalo is still able to match up as well as they are defensively. They got 3 starters out of the game. Burrows is out, Kelso is out, Bentley is out, and Bruce Smith operating in there at partial speed. And that's a lot of the impact of this defense gone, and they are still getting big plays from other people who have stepped in there. Amazing to me that they can still function as well as they can.
Bruce Smith, it's a mark of his talent, but even when he's playing maybe 70%, he's still better than most people are 100%.
But he is not a major factor in that game right now.
Not the way he started. Remember, early in the first quarter, he was dominating it. There's a fumble, and Esiason on the exchange, able to fall on it back at the 35, and that's the mistake that the Bills certainly were aching for. But again, the bounce of the ball, it pretty well has gone the way of Cincinnati most of the day.
See if we can see what happens. Boomer just handed that right through the arms of Stanley Wilson. And I think Boomer quickly realized that he better get himself on that.
Nate Odoms really applying pressure from the corner. Said he was the youngest starter defensively in the league last year. He's only 23 now, out of the University of Wisconsin. Clock down to 11 minutes to go. Quick pop to Stanford Jennings out to the 39-yard line, and on 4th and long, in comes the punting unit. Cornelius Bennett makes that last tackle. Will it be Chicago or San Francisco to meet the winner of this game? And of course, the Super Bowl here on NBC 2 weeks from today, Super Sunday. Johnson to kick to Errol Tucker. 10 men on the line of scrimmage for Buffalo. They had about 7 block punts the last 2 years.
They're looking for a big play to get themselves back into this ballgame.
But that Brady gets that snap back in a hurry. Whoa, Tucker having trouble as that ball spinning in the breeze. And down he goes at the 23. The man who snapped it, Ed Brady, gets downfield to make the tackle. Jim Riggs was there as well. Timeout. 10 minutes and a second to go.
His wife For 20 years, they carried their most intimate thoughts into their most intimate moments. For 20 years, she was living in a lie. The secret that will ruin their lives lies in a twist of fate tonight.
The ejection of Derek Burrows may cloud the fact that on that drive, Cincinnati was 4th down in punt formation and a key fake.
We talked about innovation. This play caught them unawares. They just stepped up and ran it out of that punt formation very quickly. Get the first down, keep the drive alive.
And Stanley Wilson.
Yep. Wilson taking the snap from Turk Schoner.
From the 23, Kelly. Everyone covered. And now Kelly too covered, but gets away to Rob Riddick. A fine catch by Riddick at the 28. A gain of 5. Kelly and the Bills are hungry for a first down here in the second half.
They have had their troubles. Look at the field position first. Boy, that's awful field position, and they have not been able to do anything with it. Not a single first down here in the second half.
Trumaine Johnson. And he just did step out of bounds at the 45. Everyone just stopped for a moment. Some suspended action. Johnson almost danced down the sidelines for a score.
Kelly in a hurry-up mode, and this is how he hurt Cincinnati in the earlier game this year. We mentioned that they got back within 7 points just as they started the 4th quarter of that game after being down 21-0.
A time. He dumps it off to Harmon. And Ronnie Harmon. Ronnie pulled down by Wilcott from one side. And Ricky Dixon in on the play as well.
Teams that have hurt the Cincinnati defense during the year did one of two things. Either they were able to control the football by running. Buffalo has not been able to do that today, or they were going out of a spread situation, spreading the defense and attacking.
So Riddick out of bounds with a first down. And in fact, in that game earlier this year here at Riverfront Stadium, when the Bengals led 28-7 in the second half, Bills made a good comeback, and it was out of that short punt or the spread offense, and in fact were within a touchdown and had the ball deep in Cincinnati territory and might have tied.
Maybe very upset as he's saying that something is wrong on the clock. Something is wrong with the clock. Levy pointing to the clocks in the stadium and saying there's something wrong.
One thing apparent for Levy and the Bills, there is plenty of time left, 8.5 minutes. Again, Gene Barth explaining to the crowd, but his microphone not working for us.
8:48, please.
Well, now it is.
Isn't it magic? Now we know. Move that clock back and get it to the right time. Marv Levy's saying, hey, this is tough enough to have to play the Bengals here at home. We don't need to have to play with a clock that's not going to work in our favor, or at least work fairly.
6 defensive backs on first down. Kelly. What a throw to Riddick, and he's out of bounds with a first down inside the 20 at the 18. Threw it right over Leo Barker.
What a nice play by Kelly. He realized he was going to have to wait, and that's the same kind of touch pass that we saw Esiason throw earlier. Beautiful throw by Kelly.
21-10. Cincinnati leads Buffalo in the 4th quarter. 8:35. 8:35 now left to go.
He's still mad about the clock. He's saying, come on, you got the clock wrong again.
It was running while the play went out of bounds.
This has been the most explosive drive of the day for the Buffalo Bills offense, and certainly the only window they have had at all in this second half.
And they used 13 seconds on the play. Kelly just misses connections with Ronnie Harmon, who thought he was pushed before the throw.
It looked to me like he was bumped by Ray Horton, number 20. And Levy again saying they're not working the clock properly.
11 seconds used on that incomplete pass. That seemed to be more time than it actually took to run, that's for sure.
Did not take a long time.
Please reset the game clock at 8:29. 8:29. With incomplete forward pass.
That's he's saying when it's incomplete, you stop that clock. You do not let it run.
They may have be making up for the play before as well, because certainly it took more than 1 second. It was 8:30 at the start of that play, but it seemed like they'd let it run a little bit the play before as well.
We're having trouble with the game clock. Please shut it down, and we'll keep it on the field till it's corrected. Please shut the game clock down. We'll keep the time on the field.
Well, that's one way to solve the problem. At least solve the problem on the field. Might create one for the folks watching at home and the folks here in the stadium.
Second down play. Over the middle, incomplete. Chris Burkett slammed into by Solomon Wilcox. It'll be 3rd and 10. And now Buffalo trying to convert its first 3rd down in 10 tries. Clock continues to run, but it's not a factor.
Please shut down the game clock. It's confusing to the players. It's inaccurate. Please shut the clock down. The official time is 8:23. The clock is malfunctioning. Please turn it off. It's confusing to the players.
Third and 10 is the challenge for Buffalo.
And I'm not sure that the clock on the scoreboard can be turned off. You perhaps have to turn off the whole scoreboard to get it to shut down. Well, that's the stat you referred to. They need one here.
Going deep. And almost intercepted by Eric Thomas, who had excellent position on Andre Reed.
Solomon Wilcox, the other defender there. Andre Reed, the prime receiver in difficult situations during this season for Joe Kelly. Where Kelly is right at the center of your screen there. A little fast fake, driving deep. Thomas, man for man. You'll see Wilcox coming over to help on this situation right there. Ooh. Boy, I'll tell you, it's just you get so close and yet so very far. 4th down, they're going.
Kelly into the end zone, intercepted by David Fulcher. And now at Riverfront Stadium with around 8 minutes to go, the best of friends are talking about Miami. It's that way. South, due south. Timeout.
I don't know.
Thanks. And today's AFC Championship game is being brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks, including the all-new Mazda MPV. Kelly and the Buffalo offense, after the 3rd interception thrown by the Bills, looking for a turnover. Time running out. We're midway through the 4th quarter. The clock has been turned off. We'll have to depend on sidelines reports to get you the official time. Holman, as Cincinnati figuring Buffalo would look run, goes to the short pass.
Let's go back to that last play. Cincinnati utilizing 7 defensive backs. That's all they've got. They're all on the field. Excellent, tight one-on-one coverage. And David Fulcher, we questioned whether he would be able to play today with that bad leg. Well, play he has, and can he be effective? Well, I tell you, he made a play here that shuts the door on a lot of the Buffalo hopes. They've got a hope now to get the ball back on a turnover to get themselves back into this ball game.
Well, what a play by Ray Horton on the coverage. Kelly just didn't have anywhere to go with it.
And that's the kind of play, unfortunately, that he's made many of this year. Throwing the ball into coverage, trying to do it with his arm in a situation where it could not be done.
Ricky Woods trying the left side of the line is short of the first down. Shane Conlon stacked him up. Well, the other game up at Soldier Field, Chicago, between the 49ers and Bears will start in about a half hour. We've got the 4th quarter here, and then we'll have the locker room interviews. Ahmad and Paul will be talking to winners and losers. We'll get the comments of Coach Don Shula with Bob Costas on our Budweiser NFL report. Well, it was a grand year for Buffalo Bills, their fans, and owner Ralph Wilson there in the center of your picture. But day to day, where the defense of the Cincinnati Bengals, you said that might be the matchup, and the Bengals defense has answered the call.
They certainly have done that. Well, right now it's control the football time for Cincinnati.
3rd and 5. McGee gets enough for the first down, out to the 33, an 8-yard pickup. His first catch. Well, he's actually had 2 catches, that one and Derek Burrows.
And this is a high percentage pass, a little pass to the sideline, and you say, why aren't they running the football? Sam White had an interesting comment. He said, we need to run the football to win, but if we run it too much, we may lose the game. We have to mix what we're doing on the field. And he's done a great job of that. Bruce Coslett, his offensive coordinator, of course, feeding him information about the vulnerability of this Buffalo defense, which is being hard-pressed by injury here today.
With the Woods. Well, that big fullback is so quick. Over 230 pounds. You see that little lean and step and then the quick move as he plows out across the 40. A gain of 8 more, maybe 9.
One of the things that has helped Cincinnati this year is they've been able to run really a 2-back offense. Both Woods and Brooks are halfbacks. Woods can also be a fullback. He's that big and strong, but he has the moves and the eyes and the feel of a halfback. Pretty big halfback and a pretty big day for him. 24 rushes, 93 yards. He's closing in on 100 yards again, Dick.
As he did last week against Seattle. He really goes back to the day of Paul Brown and the Cleveland Browns and the big fullbacks. Because they've had big ones here as well. Woods tripped up. But the ones that have preceded, and Larry Kinnebrew for one, preceding Ickey Woods, was a more north-south runner, a big guy that ran straight. Woods can give you that slash and cut back and quick step, go outside.
And then right at the end of it, he can run north-south with the best of them.
That's right. Push the pile. Well, here it's either going to be 3rd and inches or a first down. And we have not heard any official word as to where the clock stands at the moment.
Dick, while they're measuring that, you know, a lot of people say it's really the first-round draft picks that give you the strength. If you look at what Cincinnati has done, in the last 12 years, they've had 20 first-round picks. Only 4 of those people still starting. Munoz, who was drafted in 80. McGee drafted in 86, along with Joe Kelly on the defense. And 81, Eddie Brown drafted in 85. But it's been the mid-round picks that have really helped them. You look down the list. Reimers drafted 8. Kozerski drafted 9th. Montoya 7th. Wilson 9th. Walder, who's hurt, of course, 7th. Crumry 10th. White 5th. That's Leon White on defense. And Wilcox 8th. I mean, that's where much of the strength of this team has come from, in those mid-round drafts. Smart mid-round drafting.
So we're getting word as to the time remaining, just over 6 minutes. 6:48 to be exact. 3rd and inches. Woods outside. Good open field tackle by Wayne Davis, but it's another first down for Cincinnati. 99 yards for Ickey Woods.
We mentioned the great blocking of number 82, Holman. He's headed to the Pro Bowl for blocks like this. That's a stack-up block on Leonard Smith, number 46. And as we have seen during this day, he has come up often. Earlier in the year, deployed very deep in the secondary. He has moved up in that 8-man look. Did not help in that situation. Great block by Holman. Good run by Ickey Woods.
21-10, Cincinnati leads. Time running out in the 4th quarter. And the Bengals keeping the pressure on with that running game keyed by Woods, and now James Brooks, who just does get on the Buffalo side of the field. Darryl Talley gets to him. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Bengals and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, Buffalo and Cincinnati, all rights reserved.
One of the drills that Buffalo practiced yesterday was stripping the football. Every defensive player working at reaching in and stripping at that football. It's something they're going to be trying to do here.
Second effort, first down at the Buffalo 40.
A big matchup, 78 on 78. That's Munoz on Smith. And I got to tell you, it's not a fair matchup today because Smith, as we showed you earlier, a bruised hip is just not strong. Well, one of the things, Dick, I talk about stripping of the ball. One of the things that happens when you try and strip the ball, you sometimes forget to tackle. And often you'll see a runner who should be tackled be able to break away.
There's the matchup and Smith's injury, a part of the story. At the start of the game, it appeared that he was going to have a brilliant day, and then the thigh injury, and he has not been playing at full effort. Stanley Wilson, 6 or 7 more. Still made the tackle. Well, the home field apparently will be kind again in the playoffs. It's worth all the work of the regular season and how critical it became, because these two teams were 12-4 in the regular season, but they played once here, and Cincinnati won and earned the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Buffalo calls a timeout. They have 1 remaining. On the Buffalo bench, and even at that, after Cincinnati had beaten Buffalo, Buffalo had a game advantage on Cincinnati with a couple to play and lost to Tampa Bay in the next contest, and that then put them in an even position at 12-4, and the tiebreaker, of course, head-to-head. So apparently, although this is premature with about 4 minutes to go, Cincinnati against either Chicago or San Francisco. Time left 2 minutes and 53 seconds now, we understand. The clock not working.
Well, the way things have gone for Jim Kelly and his offense today, and the injuries that have crippled the defense, 11 points might as well be 100.
Two teams, two franchises that have rallied from disappointing seasons in 1987. Both had losing records to meet in this AFC championship game. And now with less than 3 minutes to go, with second down and 2.5. And Wilson is just shy of a first down. Should Cincinnati finish that out and win and play the Bears? The Bears won the last meeting impressively 2 years ago. McMahon had a big day and Esiason did not. If they play the 49ers, 49ers own the series. And you'll remember the game last year here in Cincinnati. That was the game Cincinnati had won. And with just seconds left on 4th down, Sam White ran the ball. San Francisco made the tackle, and with a couple seconds left, one pass Montana to Rice to pull it out of the fire.
And if there was a single event that people pointed to that they said was going to get Sam White fired last year, it was that game. The fact that he is still here as a head coach, a tribute, I think, to the wisdom of a Paul Brown, who knew that if you go ahead and make that kind of change, you reshuffle the chemistry of a team, you have to start from scratch. This team would not be here today with a new coach. And I think it's a great thing to be able to see a second opportunity for a guy like Sam White and to see him convert so successfully.
2 minutes and 30 seconds to go for Mrs. Paul Brown and all the Cincinnati faithful.
He is probably on his way to the locker room or the sideline, feeling, I think, that the time for celebration. Maybe he's going down to get ready to shuffle with Icky down there on the sideline, Dick.
As we said last week, that's worth waiting for. The shame of the playoffs is the reality that when it's all over. Only one team will win, and a lot of good teams will end a season with a defeat. Third and 1. Ricky Woods over the 100-yard mark and a first down. And Papa Esiason says, "Get me a ticket, son. I'm going to Miami."
He said, I'm going to shuck this overcoat and put on my Bermudas, and away we'll go.
102 yards for Ricky Woods. And should he come out on the next exchange, you'll hear quite a roar. They're letting the clock run down to the 2-minute mark.
Amazing to me that a rookie player, and the rookies really suffer with that long season. Very difficult for them because the college season is half as long as what they played this year. Ickey has held up marvelously.
Both sides now know the truth. Cincinnati's going.
Mazda's got a brand new vehicle that's as unique and special and friendly as the family dog.
Celebration is on. And now with no timeouts left for Buffalo, it's a 2-minute exercise and kneeling for Boomer Esiason. And then this game will be officially over. Time now for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP, number 30 from the Cincinnati Bengals, rookie Ickey Woods. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of today's MVP, and they'll shuffle that off to a very worthy cause. A lot of parts that make the machinery work. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Not sure that...
It's quietly moving toward the front here.
You have to figure 45 seconds used on that play, so now he kneels, so this will take it down under the 1-minute mark, and we'll have to exercise one more. Uh-oh.
Sam caught him. Sam caught him. He's getting set. Oh, it's a war. It's a Gatorade war on the sideline.
One more snap, and this one will then be over. This is it. The Cincinnati Bengals were the last team to lose in the regular season. They won their first 6. They're the last AFC team to lose in the total season. AFC champions. En route to Miami in the Super Bowl. 21-10 over Buffalo. Super Bowl 7 years ago, and Kenny Anderson guided the Bengals to the big game, beating San Diego in that ice bowl, -59 chill. And now it's Boomer Esiason's turn, and a different Cincinnati team heads for Miami, and a chance for that first Super Bowl trophy for the city along the Ohio River. They celebrate their football heroes.
After watching them so convincingly in the last 2 weeks take charge of the action on the field, they're a team with the physical capabilities to match up well, I think, with the strong teams of the NFC, something we haven't had for a couple of seasons, Dick.
And for Buffalo, a tremendous year ends in the obvious disappointment. But injuries and playing away from Rich Stadium may have been key factories. And the battle of the big orange tubs. White on the left. And in comes Fulcher from the right. And it was Cincinnati orange that they were throwing at each other.
You know, if I've discovered one thing from driving this new Mazda...
The only touchdown of the second half, capping a long Bengal drive, going over from the one, Ickey Woods, and he gets to show his shuffle off to Buffalo for the second time today. His 18th touchdown of the season, counting the playoffs, and the Bengals are Miami bound, the champs of the AFC. 21-10 over the Bills. This is the Budweiser NFL Report, brought to you by Budweiser and Bud Light. We'll also be bringing you Bud Bowl 1 coming up January 22nd on NBC. Hi again, everybody. Bob Costas flanked by Coach Don Shula and Gail Gardner. And if it appears as if we're yelling at you, if that's the way it comes across in your living room, we apologize. But they're celebrating here at Riverfront, and we've got to speak this loudly just to hear ourselves over the din. Obviously, the key to the second half, which began with the Bengals in front 14-10, the one drive in which they were able to sustain it by faking the punt, and then Buffalo helped them with a foolish penalty later. Let's talk about that.
Well, the key play certainly had to be the fake punt, because that put them down in position. But still, Buffalo then had the opportunity to stop them. But here's the fake punt. They're back, and they have the quarterback under center. This, of course, should have alerted Buffalo that there's something to be alert for, because the quarterback is normally not in there, the second-string quarterback in a punting situation. But they obviously caught Buffalo by surprise. They make the first down. Then they come back with an opportunity to stop them. Shane Conlon makes a great play down on the goal line, but they get called for a silly, unnecessary roughness penalty.
Let's take a look at that play, because he had slammed Ickey Woods down. Shane Conlon, who played a very game today, if we can put the same word together twice, but watch what happens away from the ball. There's Burrows giving it to Tim McGee. He gets thrown out of the game, called for an unsportsmanlike conduct, and Conlon, who had put forth a gritty effort at his inside linebacker spot, coming back off the injured foot. He had missed last week's game against Houston. He had come up with what appeared to be a big defensive play, slamming Ickey Woods down for a loss. They would have faced 3rd and 7. Instead, it was 1st and goal at the 4 after the flag was thrown. They got in for the Ickey Woods touchdown just after the 4th quarter began. If they had forced them to settle for a field goal, they would have been within 7 instead of 11 down, and it would have changed the entire strategy of the rest of the 4th quarter.
I think we got to give credit to the Cincinnati defense and Dick LeBeau, their defensive coordinator, for the great job that they did in the second half. The first 4 times that Buffalo had the ball, they were 3 and out. They were minus yardage. Kelly then got hot. He had 5 in a row, and then he went 3 incompletes. They were plagued by the same problem when they got down inside the 20-yard line that they've been plagued with all year. They can't put it...
Rather delicious. Nobody can resist it. We love cheapest banana. We love to help you and bring out the best.
Sunday, the scandalous Georgia love affair.
Get away from my wife.
That led to the ultimate sin. Barbara Hershey in Stable Night. Sunday here on ABC.
Forget tailhook. When you see this episode of military sexual abuse and humiliation captured on videotape, you'll be shocked and outraged.
If I had a POW and I did that to a POW, they'd probably court-martial me and put me in 11 days.
Primetime Thursday.
Hello? Hey, Peter, what's up? What? I don't need to go with you guys. Well, he knows I can't go to Chicago tonight. I have my father's banquet. I told him last week. Hey, I'll be just a minute. Look, tell him there's no way I'm doing this.
Got a girl, Kelly.
He can't jerk me around like this at the last minute. Look, leave a message for Doherty that when I get there, we'll talk about it and we'll work it out then.
All right. Winner by a KO in the first round, Kelly Pop.
What's the matter?
It's just something at work.
Well, hey, well, maybe I can help you with it.
your whole